To speaking to you. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much.
Oh, brilliant. So,
Mhm.
last month you joined us on our Paid Speaker Visibility Sprint. What made you
Yeah.
join?
Well, I just thought it was a great opportunity to try to kickstart my visibility on LinkedIn again. I used to post quite regularly and I had almost a year's absence. And I thought, I really do want to get going and I want to do it not just myself because I might run out of steam, but if it was part of a sprint, it would be, of course, you would be there motivating us, setting us challenges, but also we would support each other. So that's why I thought, go for it. Let's do it this way.
Brilliant. And
Mhm.
so, what were some of the results that you had as a result of being part of that group and the challenge?
Well, I think after the initial kind of butterflies, I was surprised at how nervous I was, considering that I used to post. But the response, so many people engaged, either liking it or commenting and saying they were glad to see me back. And I thought, wow, this is some of these people I've never met, but you feel like you know people on LinkedIn, don't you? But they were kind of saying, well, we wondered what had happened to you, etc. So that was so encouraging. And then, so the next day, it was much easier to post. And I felt, right, okay, I've got something to say and I'm going to put it out there. And each time, the engagement was great. And I was getting notifications from LinkedIn, how many people engaged and all of that sort of thing. It was very, very encouraging. And I also had some results. In fact, people reached out and offered me opportunities as a result. So I didn't expect that. And it all happened very quickly within a few days of me posting. People had reached out who I hadn't heard from for a long time, and they actually came bearing gifts. So that was great.
And what's one tip you'd give someone else who's thinking about, being visible again? Like, did you learn anything about like maybe scheduling or batch making your content? How did you make it easier for yourself?
Um, I think it is to maybe reflect on things that have happened, all sorts of things that might have happened in your professional life, maybe even your personal life, but it just depends how you can make it relate. But
Mm.
just write everything out, write some notes, keep some notes, and then think about how can you turn those into posts. And it could be that you write a series of posts all in one go. If you've got a bit of time and you can sit down and do that, and then yes, you can schedule it, and then you don't have to worry each day about putting that post out. Also, when people do engage, responding to
Mm.
the comments that they make, and then it can lead to further
Yeah.
conversations in DMs, etc. And then that could lead to some work, for example.
Mm.
So, but definitely don't ignore those, and not even just a thumbs up or a like,
Yeah.
but actually commenting on what the person has said, even if it's to say thank you and maybe repeating back what they've said, or expanding on what they've said. I think it takes you a long way. It really is useful.
Yeah,
Some
no,
people reposted as well, which was great, I thought. And
amazing.
then you can comment on the repost and thank them for reposting.
Yeah, I mean, and that's brilliant. And so the point that you've made, though, putting out these posts obviously takes time and effort to do, but once they're out there, they can compound. And even
Yeah,
after it's been fresh, people are still discovering and finding them. So
that's right. Yeah, that is
it's,
definitely happening. Yeah, every
yeah,
now and again I
exactly.
get a notification, so and so commented on your post, and then I think, well, that I posted that weeks ago, but then you go back to it and then you can engage again. And then when you engage on their comments, then other people might then engage, and there's a little conversation that can get going then.
Definitely. And sometimes even the comments can lead to new spins from that post that you originally posted to give you new
Yeah,
ideas to share it in slightly different ways or different
yeah,
aspects people have been talking about in the comments can give you
yeah,
content ideas which you don't even have to work hard to find because literally people have given you them and you've had
yeah.
a conversation with them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I've learned. That's definitely, it's something to use. You can't undervalue that at all.
Definitely.
Mm.
And the final thing that I would like to speak to you about is, being in momentum and being in community. So, you're part of the Pace Speaker Connections group, which is a global
Mm.
group which we run. It's a 3 monthly session
Yeah.
where we get together and we talk about, what we're working on and how we're progressing towards our goals as Pace Speakers. Tell me, like, what's something that's helpful that you found from attending one of those sessions?
I think it's just seeing other people some people who started in a similar position to me, and seeing how they're growing and how we're able to encourage each other. So, commenting on each other's posts or feeding back in the group about how we found that post, or maybe even reflecting on what it took to put that post out there. And then we can give each other encouragement to say, well, it worked very well, it read very well, and to just keep going, keep each other going, really. Um, and again, that feeling that I've never met these people, I've never met you in person, but
Mm.
I feel like I know you, and I feel like, you are supportive, and the people in the group are supportive. They're all very kind and encouraging. And encouragement, I think, is key.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think
Mm.
that, we can build digital communities which are aligned and people can grow and they can create safe spaces where people can share and learn, and be able to support each other. And I think that, knowing that we're not alone and putting ourselves in a space where we are able to share about our concerns, our fears, or the challenges that we have is super helpful.
It's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And the last question that I wanted to ask you is, why do you think that people should actually, be more visible? And even if they're afraid, what's one tip you'd say to help them to realize that their voice is important and people would want to hear from them?
Yeah. I mean, LinkedIn is a marvelous marketplace. It's millions of people across the world that you might never, it just makes your reach so huge. And also it is, you can learn to use it in an appropriate way. It is kind of social marketing. It's not hitting people over the head and that sort of thing. It is by using yourself, your character, your own personality, and not trying to be anybody else. And I find being visible, you're putting the person that you are and the business that you have, which is a reflection of yourself, which meets particular needs or pain points, to use that kind of jargon, of the people that you serve. So LinkedIn, being visible on LinkedIn allows you to reach your audience, people that you want to reach to make your business work. And it's, I wouldn't say simple, but it is as straightforward as just writing down your ideas, fashioning it into a post and putting it out there. And then once you get it out there, it does the work for you, really. And that is about, and it isn't just your company that's visible, you're visible, and people engage first and foremost with you, really. The way you've put yourself across, from the nice profile picture, whatever it is, which is nice and
Mm.
professional, welcoming, friendly, etc., to the types of posts that you put out and the way that you engage. And that is so important. That being visible is like an advert, really, which you're not really paying for. It's just it's just there, and people see it all over the world, as I said, because if, like me, you work online, then yes, you could get people interacting from America, from the Caribbean, from Africa,
Mm.
and without having to get on a plane, really. So I think it's fabulous to be visible.
Great. And our final question is, who are you here to serve? Who are you particularly keen to work with and what kinds of opportunities are you seeking next?
Yeah, I'm really looking to have young people, if they're able to engage directly, if they are on LinkedIn, young adults to who are neurodivergent and need that support to make those steps into maybe university, maybe into the world of work, and how do they self-advocate? How do they self-regulate in this world, which is very much neurotypical? It's not made necessarily for neurodivergent people. So how getting that support, or if they're parents who have teenagers who are neurodivergent, who they would like to have speech and language therapy, whether it be speech, language, or communication, that I could work directly with those children. Also, if parents want to reach out because they want to know more, or if they themselves feel they might be neurodivergent, or professionals, maybe school staff, special educational needs staff who would like training to make sure that they're meeting the needs of neurodivergent youngsters in their school, especially those with speech, language, and communication needs. So those are the groups that I'm reaching out to. And in terms of the schools and the parents, there is a huge demand or requirement for training. And that's where my paid speaker kind of offer comes in, where I can speak to groups of any size, from a staff room size to a conference. So that's the sort of offer that I would like to put out there.
Fantastic. And just so everyone's super clear, when we're talking about the paid speaking that you're wanting to do and who you're wanting to serve, is it neurodivergent parents, adults, or is it something else?
They can be neurodivergent themselves. It could be that they belong to a group and they would like someone to come along and talk to them a bit more about what neurodivergence is, what it involves, how to make adjustments to meet the needs of their children. Maybe they're struggling to get what their children should have, what they should have in school. Maybe they're struggling to have that met, and they want to know, well, what are our rights? What should be going on in schools? Can you come and talk to us? Can you support us in having those needs met?
Brilliant. Okay. No, thank you, Nafisa. Yeah, it's been really great to talk to you about, why you are passionate about the work that you do, the service that you're giving, because, we need more diverse leaders in all of our fields, and especially in your area, where there is a lot of work to be done supporting young people and adults for them to advocate and to speak up for themselves. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.